Hello and welcome once again to Flight Simulator 2024. This is a bit of a special little flight. We are in Syria. This is a coincidence. I had planned this flight months ago, but it is a happy coincidence that I get to do one final flight in Syria a few days after the Assad dictatorship ended. We should always celebrate the end of dictatorships, and again, it's hard days ahead for the Syrian people, but I wish them nothing but the best. They have been through far too much for the past 40 years or so. It's going to be difficult, but let's hope, even though hope is in short supply these days, that they can build something better for them, and again with less interference, negative interference from the world. It's high time they got some positive interference. So anyway, we are approaching Deir ez-Zor. I think that's how you say it. It's the largest city in eastern Syria, and this here is the Euphrates, as we would say in Brazil, one of the main rivers in the region, and the city is somewhere over there. This is again no ATC. It's because we started from Al Rutba in Iraq, and it's not supported by the ATC program. So I wanted to showcase a little thing that we rarely use, which is the VNAV calculator for the Garmin 530. We are at 4,000 feet. We are doing a non-precision VOR approach, and we need to be at 2,500 feet before descending. And it can actually calculate for you. You have to input the target altitude, the position, and your profile, and it will calculate and tell you when you should start descending. Again, it doesn't actually do anything. You have to do everything manually, but it is a good help for when you don't have a very specific flight plan. So we'll soon get a message to begin our descent, anyway, and then we can start our landing procedure. So as far as I understand it, Deir ez-Zor is an old city, although kind of always small, but always there. It's in the Euphrates, so it's an important farming area, and recently they have found oil nearby, so part of the Syrian oil extraction happens here. It has again lots of history, and unfortunately not very good history. More notably, it was sort of the end point for the Armenians who were taken from their land during the genocide in the early 20th century, and so thousands and hundreds, I don't know exactly the number, but dozens of thousands of Armenians were executed in the area. There is to be a memorial church. Oh, here, sorry, this is the message. See, approaching VNAV profile, so we should start descending. So just disengage, alt hold, cut power, and we should descend easily. There is to be a church, a memorial church for the Armenians here, but it was destroyed by Islamic State in 2014, and as far as I understand it, it's still in ruins. So yeah. Just preparing the turn for the final approach. We are at 3,500 feet. So we're actually quite good in our descent rate. We should be ready before the turn, so we can start our final preparations. The usual landing lights, fuel pump, and 3,000 feet. Again, you can see the farms and the river. This is how it has been for thousands of years, I suppose. We are approaching target altitude, so it warns us that our descent is about to end. So once we hit 2,500, we'll level the plane again with altitude engage. But we're still a bit far from the turning point actually, so we did it very quickly. So right now, can add a little power. And once we are about 3 miles from the turn, I'll do the final part of the descent. I don't know if we'll see the city. The city is beyond the airport. But yeah, we are in a part of the world of too much history almost. Again, Flight Simulator has amazing 2024, I guess, has amazing semi-randomly generated terrain these days, so it's much nicer to look than it used to be in the previous game. But let me start slowing the plane down so we can work on getting it to land. Again, I have no idea how the airport will look. We are at the correct speed, so landing gear down. Yes, it's complaining about trim. Full power, full mixture. Trimming up. Here it is. The Euphrates will be right next to it, I guess. First stage of flaps. And we are almost at the final turn. Let me just get the VOR at 286. Which is our... Yes, I know you. Let me just get the final turn and then you can complain a little bit more. Add more power. Everything alright here. We can also turn off heating because we'll be landing. That's our runway, I think. So we should get the message to turn pretty soon. I'll actually do it manually so we can start descending as we do it. So yeah, turning off autopilot. And I'm turning and descending. And hitting the microphone and the keyboard. Those things don't happen to real pilots, I hope. Let's descend. We're actually very close to the last flaps. More trim to slow us down. Even less power, so yeah, we can see the city over here. And the river. Very pretty, actually. And more trim. Whoops, wrong camera. Right. stage of flaps. As you can see, the VOR approach does not have vertical guidance at all, so it might be too high actually, but hopefully we'll get there. The airport's about 700 feet, so, but there's still a few 3 miles from it, so let's just cut power and glide down a bit more. How does the stream look? Can get a little bit. I have no idea about the wind. So we'll just have to guess. Also the altimeter, so you can't trust the information completely. Again, short flight, just 1 hour. This is of course a randomly generated airport, which is probably why there are so many trees next to it. But again, it looks great. It looks so much better. And it already looked so good in the past, so yeah, now we're, I think, at a decent level. The plane is slowing down, might actually be going too slow. I think we're being pushed from the left, so I'll try to correct it a little. I can't see the windsock. Oh, there it is. It's just over to the left here. I can't read it yet, so just checking. Full flaps. A bit more trim. We are going a little too fast, so I need to slow down a bit more. See, there's actually very little wind. Runway 28. Yeah, it seems to be just a tiny headwind, so that's good. The plane is a bit squirrely. Cut power. And let's try to flare. Not stall onto the ground like that. Whoops. Just. Anyway, not the best landing, but could have been worse. Flaps up. Strobe off. Fuel pump off. Mixture lean. So here we are at Deir ez-Zor. Sorry, I must have pronounced this like 4 different ways. In Syria, a freer Syria than it used to be. Let's hope it stays that way and it gets even better. Next time we'll fly back into Iraq to Kirkuk, and I hope I'll see you then. Thank you for watching.